Yo, hello guys, welcome back. So I want to cover this issue. Where do you start? If you've never sung before, if you've never, you've never looked into technique, you never thought about singing much, and you decided you want to sing some songs, you want to, maybe go to an open mic, you maybe want to do karaoke, whatever it is. Where do you start as a singer? So many times people start by going onto YouTube or, reading books and getting into technique and thinking about all these things. Typically, I would recommend against that. What I would recommend if you're just starting out is just listen to your favorite singers and mimic them and copy them and see what you can work out on your own. The reason that I say that is because far too often, beginners in particular, take information that they hear from coaches on YouTube, internalize it, but don't realize that the way they're interpreting that information is drastically different to the way it was intended. Because their knowledge and skill level isn't at a required amount, they tend to misinterpret a lot of information that they read and hear. So you can't do that if you're mimicking and copying, if you're just trying to work it out on your own. All you've got is your sensations and this kind of feedback loop where you try something, it works, it doesn't work. If it works, great. When it doesn't work, what can I do to adapt that, to change it, to make it better? And this loop of making mistakes, adjusting, trying again, seeing how it goes. If it goes better, if it goes worse, thinking, into this loop of mistakes and assessment and self-assessment, becoming more self-aware as a singer, becoming more self-aware of the sensations you're feeling, of the kinds of adjustments you might be making, all internal, all happening inside your head, all happening based on direct sensory feedback that you're experiencing. All a coach is really trying to do is get you to feel certain things to help you establish certain boundaries, to help you establish certain sets of rules, to help you establish certain boundaries in what you're doing. Yeah? So they're trying to link and communicate to you physical sensations. They're not trying to, or they shouldn't trying to be, if they're a good coach, throw all this jargon at you and get you to somehow turn that jargon into great singing. That's not how you learn to sing. We know this because all the good naturals do not learn any of the jargon, do not learn any of this. They just do it. So we do not, as a young singer, as a starting singer, want to try and interpret loads of jargon, loads of terminology, and create that or form that into singing. What we want to do is we want to try and latch onto some sensations, latch onto something that's right in terms of what we're feeling. The best way to do that usually is just to copy and sing at first. Now, when do you need technique? The time when you need technique is when you've been going around in a loop for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, 4 or 5 weeks, and there's something that is getting in the way, something inhibiting you, something stopping you from moving forward. Now, depending on you as an individual and your history, this wall will come at different times. Some singers figure a hell of a lot out on their own. Other singers will figure out very little on their own. Now, I don't know where you're going to sit, but what I do know is if you take as much responsibility and as much self-responsibility for where you are as a singer as possible, if you trust yourself, if you trust trust your sensations and your feelings primarily first, and use other people and other influences to adapt and maybe angle or nurture those sensations in different ways. The foundation is you, and you taking responsibility for where you're going, rather than you just reading a load of jargon, reading a load of terminology, and kind of somehow trying to shape that into singing. Yeah? It's got to start here. It's got to start here It's got to start inside you, that fire. And if you can find that fire, which is what motivates you to practice, to work at it, then lessons and these kinds of videos are going to help supplement that fire. But 90% of it is in here. You've got to create it yourself, you've got to learn it yourself, you've got to figure it out yourself. Can't look to other people for that. And I think too often there's people kind of desperate to latch on to something, and not thinking, hang on a sec, like, I've got a brain, other people have figured this out, there's no reason why I can't make some progress just by listening to music and doing what I enjoy doing and singing, and not getting all bogged down in all this dry jargon and terminology and all this stuff and all the debate and all of the drama on here. When you're just starting out, you don't really need any of that. The reason I know all this is because when I started out, I watched hours and hours and hours of Seth Riggs masterclasses. I watched a lot of Brett Manning, all this stuff before I got anywhere with my technique. And it's, in hindsight, it set up some good, but it also set up a lot of problems that I ended up having to deal with further down the road than if I'd have just kept singing songs and just really trusted myself to learn this. Yeah. Anyway, I'll leave you with that. If you're a new singer, if you're learning the basics, just pick some musicians that you like, copy what they're doing, see what results you get. Give yourself some time, give yourself 2 or 3 months to just work on your own and see where you get with it. Then think about coming to YouTube, then think about learning maybe some terminology, then think about maybe having a lesson or two to see, right, what am I missing? Yeah? Anyway, I'll leave you to it, guys. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon. Bye! Thanks for watching this video, guys. If you want my help personally, you can book a one-on-one training session. Drop me a message. My email is in the description. And if you feel like this message was of value, then please feel free to make a donation equal to that value. Again, donation link is in the description. And finally, please share this video with other singers you know. Please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up. And I will see you in another video. Bye!